Well, you're here because you filled out a survey about a guy and he scored a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10-dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10-dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He is unlikely to go far in his career, even if he talks about wanting more. He prefers keeping things calm and steady rather than putting in extra effort or chasing new challenges. So, if he ever talks about grand plans, it's mostly words, not action.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he tends to break down rather than bounce back. He gets upset and may get easily frustrated or irritated even over small setbacks. You might notice him becoming moody or shutting himself off after a bad day.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work generally find him pleasant because he's very polite, but deep respect is rare. He avoids big arguments, so you won't hear stories about loud fights. Few will see him as a leader or someone to turn to for support.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do well in your career, he probably won't feel proud or truly happy for you, nor will he be openly jealous. Instead, he may become quietly bothered or moody about it, especially if your success draws attention to his own lack of drive. He won't argue or make hurtful comments, but you might sense some distance or coldness.
What if you start earning more than him?
If you earn more than him, he's likely to feel insecure deep down, even if he won't say it out loud. He won't fight or argue about money, but you might notice he becomes quieter or less cheerful around the topic. He won't openly resent you, yet the balance in your relationship may start to feel a bit off.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He's careful with money and likes things to be in order, so you won't find him spending on sudden whims or making risky choices. He pays attention to details and prefers planning, so bills are paid on time and budgets are followed. You can trust that he won't waste money or put your future at risk with careless spending.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He usually lives within his means and doesn't pretend to be richer than he is. He prefers to stay comfortable with what he has instead of trying to impress others or show off with expensive things. He likes routine and avoids risks, which helps keep his spending honest and simple.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He is tight with both his money and his mindset. You won't see him giving generously or going out of his way to help with warmth. Even though he's polite in his words, he holds back when it comes to acts of kindness or sharing, especially money.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He is not secretive or controlling about money, but he does tend to keep things private and orderly. If you ask about finances, he'll answer politely and stick to the facts, but he might not share much unless you bring it up. He likes things done properly, so he won't hide spending or play games with control. He just feels safer managing things himself.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He is likely to believe housework should be done properly and kept in order, but he may see it more as your job than something to share equally. He likes things neat, but doesn't easily take the lead or jump in to help without being asked. You might find that he quietly expects you to manage most chores, while he sticks to routines or tasks that fit his sense of order.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He will most likely help by supervising rather than actually rolling up his sleeves and getting things done alongside you. He likes things to be tidy and done right, but prefers telling you how to do it instead of pitching in himself. If you're hoping for a true teammate in home life, you'll probably find yourself wishing he'd do more than just watch and comment.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He doesn't make much effort to understand your side. Instead, he is likely to argue just to prove he's right. When there's a disagreement, he often gets easily upset and focuses on defending himself rather than listening with an open mind. You might feel like your feelings or worries are being brushed aside because his main aim is to show that he's done things correctly.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he might lose his cool and say hurtful things or act in an aggressive way. Even though he's usually polite, anger makes him quick tempered and sharp with words, sometimes raising his voice or snapping back with harsh comments. You may feel hurt by what he says or how he acts in these moments.
Does he have a bad temper?
Yes, this is the kind of man who can get angry very quickly. Even over small things, he doesn't have a long fuse, and his mood can change fast, turning a normal day into a tense one without much warning. This isn't something small to brush aside. It's a real concern that can make daily life stressful or even painful.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He struggles to say sorry and rarely takes full responsibility for his actions. When things go wrong, he is more likely to blame you or make excuses rather than owning up to his part. You might end up feeling blamed even when things aren't your fault.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
If you set a clear boundary and tell him no, he will usually respect it on the outside because he likes to follow rules and stay polite. However, he might not really understand your feelings behind it. So while he won't cross the line, you may still feel a lack of emotional support or caring after you say no.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
Yes, he is likely to take it personally when you're not in the mood for intimacy. Even though he may not show anger right away, he can become withdrawn, silent, or moody if he feels rejected. This can make you feel guilty or pressured even when you've done nothing wrong.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
You can generally trust him not to share or use your private moments to hurt or embarrass you later. He likes to follow rules and be proper, so he's not one to gossip or hold things over your head. Even if he gets moody, he usually keeps personal matters to himself and takes pride in behaving respectfully.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is likely to be faithful and not easily distracted by other women. He prefers staying within his comfort zone and sticking to routines, so the idea of chasing new relationships doesn't really appeal to him. You won't have to worry much about him wandering or flirting, as he isn't driven by strong enthusiasm or a need for thrill.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
He's not likely to be openly possessive or controlling, but he may get quietly jealous or uneasy if he feels like he's not the center of your attention. Instead of causing scenes or setting strict rules, he keeps his feelings hidden and lets them turn into moods. He might become silent, withdrawn, or a bit cold if he feels left out. He won't constantly check up on you or make big accusations, but you may sense his discomfort through little changes in his attitude.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
He isn't naturally protective in a strong way, and his nature is not openly controlling. He prefers order and routine, so sometimes he might tell you how things should be done and expect you to follow along, which can feel a little strict. This isn't about caring for your safety, it's more about keeping things under control and comfortable for himself.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He is likely to expect you to do most of the parenting work rather than truly sharing it as a team. While he likes routines and wants things to be orderly, he doesn't often take the lead or jump in without being asked. The main responsibility for the children's day to day care will probably fall on your shoulders.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he's likely to lose his temper rather than stay calm. Small mistakes or emotional outbursts can quickly frustrate him, and he may react by raising his voice, getting sharp with words, or showing visible anger. If you want a calm, steady parent who comforts and guides the children, this quick temper is something to be genuinely concerned about.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He may not openly stop you from being your own person, but he's unlikely to truly support you in balancing motherhood and your own dreams. He prefers things to stay as planned and comfortable, which can make him expect you to focus more on home and family than your individual interests or ambitions. Over time, this can leave you feeling unnoticed and less valued for who you are beyond just being a mother or wife.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later, after kids and marriage, change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
Yes, this is the kind of man who might seem supportive of your career now, but could quietly expect you to quit or shift your focus to home after you have a child. He likes routine and order and may not truly understand or back your need to grow outside the family role. If it matters to you to keep your career or have your own goals, pay close attention to how his actions match his words, especially as life changes.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is likely to act polite on the surface with your parents, but not show real warmth or genuine affection. You'll notice him using good manners and treating them properly during visits, but deep emotional connection, open laughter, or going out of his way for them will be rare. If you hope for a son in law who becomes like family and builds heartfelt bonds, you may be disappointed by his reserved and formal approach. He's more likely to expect your family to adjust to his ways rather than making changes himself.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he's likely to get upset quickly and could end up making things worse rather than handling it calmly. Small tensions or misunderstandings can easily get on his nerves, and he may react with sharp words, visible frustration, or by pulling away and becoming moody. Instead of helping everyone feel better or smoothing things over, his reactions could increase the tension in the room.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, this is the kind of man who might act more modern and relaxed with you in private, but expect you to behave like a traditional supportive wife in front of his relatives. He values order, routine, and what people will say. So he's likely to want you to follow family customs, dress modestly, and keep up appearances at family events. If being true to yourself in all situations matters to you, this double standard can become a source of frustration over time.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension between you and his relatives, he is likely to stay out of it or quietly side with them instead of supporting you. He doesn't like conflict and prefers things to stay calm. So he will usually avoid taking a strong stand for you, even if he knows you need help. If strong support matters to you, you could end up feeling disappointed and isolated.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He's likely to be a mummy's boy. He respects routines and family traditions, which often means putting his mother's wishes first. If there's a conflict between you and his mother, he will usually avoid taking your side, either by staying silent or quietly agreeing with her to keep the peace at home. You may feel left out or unsupported, especially when you need him to stand up for you.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
He is not the type to share every detail of your fights or private life with his mother or sister. He prefers to keep things orderly and private, so your personal matters are usually safe from being discussed outside your marriage. This means your relationship issues are mostly handled between you two, which can be a good thing for trust.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So that's the story. This guy scores a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short of the standard we would want. Day in and day out, being with this man can feel steady but also emotionally distant and sometimes lonely. Life will be predictable with rules and routines, and you won't have to worry about careless spending or big surprises.